Hello, you feisty fiends, and welcome back to the F1 23 Last to First Championship. Today, we head to the Bottle Opener Grand Prix at Interlagos, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. And let's see how much pace we have as the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton hurtled backwards in real life, but surely the only way is up as we head into qualifying. Qualifying day, ladies and gentlemen, and we're surveying the sumptuous Red Bull of Max Verstappen as he heads down. Oh no! Oh, good grief, Lewis Hamilton with a moment of madness! Oh my word, coming out of the pit lane, he saw Max Verstappen behind him, and the power of the Brazilian people, it willed him on and twat! So Lewis saunters into the garage then. It's a DNF in qualifying, but the real question here is, what was Max doing there? Oh, for God's sake, why do I bother, man? Well, I attempted to put an end to the Red Bull massacre, and taking out Verstappen, Verstappen crashing into us should have been the cherry on top. Unfortunately, the cake's gone sour. Sergio Perez, pole position, ahead of Lando Norris. And then Leclerc, my teammate, fourth. Alonso, exactly where he... Oh, we're lost. We are last. And you know what? Really, I have to wonder, Verstappen came in like a kamikaze squirrel as we headed into turn number 4. Nothing we could have done. We took the racing line. He just didn't look. He didn't look in time, really. Some of you might saying I'm making excuses. I'd have to say to that, you're wrong. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day what the truth of the matter is, because, you know, at the end of the day, well, we're lost. Not ideal then. However, Hamilton basically did last to first here in 2021. So let's repeat history. 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. And that felt like an absolute age before they went out. But what a launch from us. Rocketing up through the field and down the inside of a plethora of cars into turn number 1, into the center S's. We're emulating Hamilton's hero by running round... running rings round cars like they're not even there. Up 5 positions already, leaving the Aston Martin and Magnussen to fight for themselves. Hulkenberg next up the road, then through turn number 4, and 2 cars side by side. Looks like a Ferrari of Sainz and an Alpine he's fighting up against. Really not gone his way, but immediately the car hunkering down, an opportunity to send one down the inside. 2 cars into 1 corner. Daniel Ricciardo, the honey badger, might have my testicles for breakfast, but I've absolutely schooled him and his teammates next. Down the inside once again. We are not hanging around for 1 second here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. The place where in 2021, as I was saying, Hamilton was so racy. It was imperative that he won the race, and he did just that with one of probably his, if not his best drive in Formula 1. But now, onto our race in the slipstream of Perez fastest lap. I actually want to die. But Guan Yu Zhou's next. Time to rinse this fella. Round the outside we go. And as we have the inside, that is P11. Next targets up the road are Sainz and Ocon. The Ferrari man well and truly out of position as he tries to gallop his way past. Down the inside he goes, but Ocon trying to hold it round the outside. Can he do it in that Alpine car? The answer is Sainz could finally chop him off. No! Back comes Ocon down the inside. The battle not nearly done, and we take Sainz down the inside. Opportunism at its finest, and great racing between the Alpine and the Ferrari man. Meanwhile, a replay of the start, 5 red lights, out they go after 2 episodes of Star Wars. Perez with an absolutely phenomenal launch, quite frankly. My God, it's actually Leclerc that Norris has to worry about, but he chops that avenue off very quickly indeed. And just like many times we've seen this heat, Perez is gone. He's gone. Right, why do we bother? No, just let's pack it all in, guys. Let's ignore that, though. Gasly in P6, what a start from him. And Ocon, to cement Alpine's reputation as not a team to be hounded at for 1 second, hounds Carlos Sainz and lunches him. Sainz tries to find any avenue pass throughout the rest of this lap, but nothing happens for the Ferrari man. End of lap number 2, though, and we're trying to double our investment as we head into the center S's again. We send Ocon to the inside. Brake as late as you dare. Can we hold it round? No, we can't. Ocon actually defends it really well, but we've been clever here. we have been wise. DRS enabled on this lap, and we've got an incredible exit, compromising Esteban. And his white flag's going to start waving very soon, surely. Although feinting to the inside, the Alpine with incredible straight line speed absolutely sends us like a Saturn V. And now we have to wait once again in the dirty air. All the while, we're losing our opportunity. That front train is getting away. It's imperative we do this now. And we send it. Ocon sees us. That's P9. Our investment, we came in with interest. And we've doubled it in the space of a few corners on lap number 3. Next target, Valtteri Bottas. I'll tell you what, he's had a good run of things in the Alfa Romeo. It hasn't all worked out his way recently, but perhaps in Interlagos, it can finally glue itself together. The magical, sticky that's probably not my best line, to be honest. Sucking up the slipstream, devouring that DRS. Flap wide open, and we are gaining. We're gaining some more. We're not gaining enough, but we send Bottas to the inside. We've done this before. Round the outside, it's a purple sector 3, and we gain another place in this race. Up into P8, we double our investment once again here. We are lucrative bankers in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri is next. And prepare to have your world turned upside down, sunshine, as our switchback exit is so superior. He gets it all crossed up on the curb. The outside line for the final corner. We do dare to dream. Round the outside, and that is P7 now. A bit of battery on the way out just to cement ourselves with 6 points to our name. But when push comes to shove, we have made up 13 places in 4 laps. Lap number 5, Pierre Gasly, our next target, and the crossover between the mediums and the softs is finally happening. By the way, something happened behind. Guan Yu Zhou, that is, in the pit lane, because Bottas still on our screen. Piastri with great slipstream, though, but nothing will be doing there no matter what pressure he puts us under. We are ahead every day of the week of the McLaren man. Comfortably in decent points now, and we're looking to gain even more now as we take a wider line through the right-hander. Gasly next. Gasly launched down the inside. We devour another position. That was a send out of nowhere. Surely that wasn't possible, but we made it possible. We carved out our own track, and we have cleavered our positions, and we clawed our way up the field. Meanwhile, this is what happened to Guan Yu Zhou. Let's just calm down. Oh, no! Oh, let's not calm down. That's a worry. Guan Yu Zhou, front left. You can see it there. A complete puncher. And actually, that means a gain for one man, Max Verstappen, in his conquest to try and find his way up to the front. He's going round the outside. And they switched it to the inside of Magnussen. Nifty bit of overtaking there. And Verstappen should be comfortably through. Magnussen will not give this up, but he has to concede. P15 for Verstappen. It's a bit quiet here on lap number 6. It's so quiet, if you stayed silent, you probably hear someone who likes Star Wars 8. Nope. But through the right-handers, I'm going to show you this section because actually, it's all not as it seems. Optimism Overlord is back in the building. What started out as 3.7 seconds now is 3.2. And as we head into the right-hander, that time is only going to decrease even more. Down to almost 3 seconds. Under 3 seconds now. We've gained almost a second in a single sector. We are absolutely flying in this race. Look at that train of cars. They've all got DRS off one another. And on the straight, we are losing, my sanity mostly. But let's not talk about that. Back on track, though, because as you can see, our pace still in the corners is absolutely electric. Now we're under 2 seconds. Russell hoves into view. And we're going to rustle a few feathers, if you know what I'm saying. Through the right-hander, and we are agonizingly close. So agonizingly close to getting that DRS open and being well in the hunt. But we'll have to wait another lap, and then we can cook. Halfway through the race, the fulcrum point, lap number 9 of 18, and now we are well and truly within DRS range. 0.6 of a second the gap between myself and my teammate. Yes, there is still that DRS train, but cars will start pitting. One of them is my teammate, and Perez and Norris are in as well, meaning Leclerc and Alonso now assume the top 2 positions. Our pit window's supposed to open on this lap, but if I'm within DRS, which, well, I have been, and I probably will be, spoiler, then, well, I might as well stay out and use that DRS advantage even at Verstappen's 5th. What a cheating bit. Not to worry, he's bad. 13 seconds off us. We're living in dreamland right now because, well, he took himself out, basically. But DRS open as the front two come in.
The Mercedes driver's stopping now.
And Mark's just come out with news that he's clinically blind. I'll give him a new guide dog for Christmas then, as we head through the center S's, scampering out the other end. And as you can see, everyone else behind us coming in. Alonso, Leclerc, Piastri, and Verstappen now all in. We're going to be the last of the front runners to actually pull into the pit lane. Oh yeah, speaking of which, into the pits we come. End of lap number 11, onto a fresh set of softs. Is it purple? Yes, it is. And thanks again, Ronaldo, for giving me yet another pair of eardrums to find. If you're shouting at your screen now for any reason, sorry, can't hear you. Out of the pits we go, though, and let's see where we filter out in all of this. Of course, we stayed out on all the tyres much longer than everybody else. Crucially, though, we have much fresher ones on the way out. And where do we end up in correspondence to this train? There's Russell and there's us on the inside. So we actually haven't lost any time, and we're on fresh softs. So you know what that means. It's time to really pile the pressure on and find our way, in theory, to the front of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, yes. Now we are talking. First up, Russell. We waste no time whatsoever. Down the inside immediately of our teammate. And now we've got to wait a tiny bit. Still a tiny bit of a gap. But onto lap number 13. Here's where things get zesty. Behind Fernando Alonso, and things were sweet. They're going to turn very sour soon. What an exit we've got. Momentum by the absolute wheelbarrow full. As we're side by side, sending it down the inside. And that's P4 in this race now. And a purple Sector 1 to pay our compliments. As we head up the hill now, a proper roller coaster ride now. Norris has taken the lead. Oh my goodness me, the McLaren man going for potentially a first win of the season. Leclerc we need to dispatch of though. Look at the acceleration, look at the grip, round the outside of Charles Leclerc, and we have the inside of, bit of contact made on the exit there as we head into this right-hander. It is made, but we're up into P3 safe and sound. Perez next, diving down the inside of the Red Bull man. Whew, and I've got to catch my breath quickly. My goodness me, how quickly did that all happen then? 3 positions gained in 1 lap. He's on hards. Right, he's lost this race. Give him a clap. Well done. Fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 9.7. That's half a second quicker than anybody else in this race. And that's with overtakes. And it's inevitable. You feel it brewing. You feel it casseroling. We put the pot on a simmer. We are well and truly boiling in Brazil. Round the outside with DRS. And that's victory. That's it. P1 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Hamilton surely on for his 2nd win of the entire season in the last to first championship. As Leclerc and Perez are fighting. Leclerc's past Perez. Oh my goodness me, the Red Bull driver, it goes from sinking to even further despair. The Mexican driver got a podium last time out, and it's all falling apart now. Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, what a podium that would be, it must be said. And for Norris, what a result that would be. Alonso, though, still doing incredibly well in that Aston Martin to be up in the top 5 after what was a very lackluster set of races in the previous couple. Across the line we go. It could be a fastest lap. It's not a fastest lap, but even so, the gap's 1.5 seconds. We've won. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. We've so won this. Well, I wonder how everyone else is doing then. Well, let's check it out. Whilst we were taking the lead of the race, there's us going round. Leclerc and Perez having a ding-dong battle round the outside. Please put them away. That's disgusting. Well, the superior schlong fight continues then, and Leclerc wins it. As down the inside he goes. He clearly had a much zestier and longer schlong. Clues in the name, really. But now it's the Max Verstappen show once again. Started from the bottom, now he's only P10. But you know what, he's going round the outside of Oscar Piastri now, really trying to find his way into some good points. Piastri, though, will not give this up, and doesn't give it up, and he's down the inside, immediately usurps Verstappen again. leaves him scratching his head, but he's done this before. Fakes to the outside, dummies it to the inside, and away he goes. Big overtaking opportunity, still side by side. Piastri fighting valiantly, despite being on the hard tyres, but Verstappen sails round the outside and does get up into P9. Tremendous bit of racecraft from AI, it must be said. But on lap number 18, he goes round the outside. It could be P7, but he's made a crucial mistake, because he did not stay behind Gasly. He was not patient enough, and he hasn't got DRS. And he did the move on Sainz earlier, but now he's going to lose 2 positions in the space of a straight. Max Verstappen back down to P9, and it could be Carlos Sainz that takes home P7. Him and Gasly fighting it to the bitter end. We'll have to wait and see who wins that battle at the end. Well, but for us then, and oh no, Norris! Oh no! He couldn't hold on to a podium. It's actually Leclerc that manages to get P2 provisionally here. Unbelievable. The points gained for the McLaren man against Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin will not be nearly as much as he would have hoped. But for us, we've been invincible. We have been untouchable. What a drive. We give Hamilton's home away from home something to shout about. Winning the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a drive from last on the grid. We wasted no time at all getting the moves done that we needed to make. We were ruthless, we were cutthroat, and it paid off in spades. Driver of the day, and 26 points to our name.
Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know. I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Yet another win then in the last to first challenge for Mercedes. Hamilton's the only driver that's actually won in the last to first championship for Mercedes, his second of the season. Please don't ever do that again, Lewis. The shoulder press form is embarrassing, but the driving certainly wasn't. And what a podium that ends up being. Perez from pole position. In the end, his hard tyre gamble did not pay off at all. He ends up in third place. For Leclerc, though, it's vital that he got ahead of Perez just to close that gap, and he did so. And Pierre Gasly did beat Carlos Sainz. Incredible from the Alpine driver. In fact, it was not even that close between him and Sainz. It's Verstappen and Sainz that had it tooth and nail between them. Just 65 hundredths between them. It's almost like Perez and Alonso in real life. That is a minuscule gap, my goodness me. But for us, oh yes, it's 26 more points in the cabinet for Mercedes. Not only that, it's 34 points gained overall, where Ferrari drew a little bit of a blank this weekend. 22 points versus the 36 could prove to be useful in that constructors' fight. Anyways, looking further down then, again, well done to Gasly. Piastri just managing to get on the fringes of the points. Ricciardo 14th, Tsunoda 12th, AlphaTauri still looking for more points. I don't know how Ocon ended up 17th. I genuinely don't have a clue, but he's bad, basically. And Zhou, we know what happened to Zhou, but even with that front left puncher, he almost caught Sargeant. So you know what that means? He's washed. Bottas just couldn't get it into the points in the end. A valiant attempt from the Alfa Romeo driver, but it's not to be once again for him. But what a drive and what a race at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh god, it's going to be chaos. We're in Vegas next. But before the Formula 1 casino heads off to gamble their fortune, let's take a quick look at the championship standings. Verstappen, obviously champion, so there's no point in talking about it. However, with only 2 points gained today, maybe he's a bit rubbish. Elsewhere, though, oh boy, does it get interesting. My god, Perez and Leclerc, the gap between them with 2 races to go, only 15 points. Russell in 4th, Sainz in 5th, and Hamilton in 6th now because of his great form in the previous 2 races. Now there's only 5 points separating those 3 drivers. Alonso and Norris, only 17 points separating them. Gasly's probably well and truly cemented 9th place unless Piastri can have a really drastic upturn in form, but looking rather unlikely as we head towards season's close. But it's those lower positions, those lower constructors' positions, where things need to start ramping up. Perhaps someone can finally have an answer to Williams. Maybe AlphaTauri can finally pick themselves up off of last in the constructors. Speaking of which, here they are. It's quite the gulf. It's nearly 40 points. But you never know. There could be some shock results, especially in Vegas. But once again, things get interesting unless you look at Red Bull, in which case you just want to... Ferrari and Mercedes, the gap for Mercedes is not entirely out of the question with 2 races to go. Although if Red Bull do lock out those front positions, Mercedes need to make the most of every opportunity they have. Between Aston Martin and McLaren, though, a good result for Alonso means that McLaren don't gain nearly as much, and he'll be hoping to carry that form forwards into the final 2 races. Alpine have probably cemented 6th place at this point, let's be honest, so I'll give them a clap. Anyway, Haas, Alfa Romeo and Williams, the gap separating them only 6 points now. So, with a shock result, perhaps one of them can overtake the other. Haas is 7th for the moment, but Alfa Romeo or Williams could change that in a heartbeat. So, the real question, will Max Verstappen win again in Vegas? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching the F1 23 Last to First Championship. Round... 21. Only 2 races to go in this little mini-series, though. My goodness me, have we rocketed along with it. Let's hope Vegas and Abu Dhabi give us something to really write home about. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Still loads of you haven't, and I'm pissed. But if you subscribe, I'll be less pissed. Will Max Verstappen win in Vegas? Yes, he will. But you'll just have to find out, won't you? You never know in F1. But until then, I once again thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, I'll see you soon.